Hey guys, so test week is coming back up, it is back around, so we will be going into either our 5 rep max safety bar squat if I know that you're comfortable with this, or whether the coach that's on is comfortable with this, or you can go for max kettlebell squats for 45 seconds at a weight that you want to make it tough. So we want to be hitting over 10 reps. If you're getting over 20, then potentially we need to go up in weight. So yeah, we can have a look at that. We'll have a couple of warm-up sets, obviously. Couple of safety points for your squat. For both of them, we want to be thinking about that bracing. So whether we've got the kettlebell here or we've got the safety bar on our backs, then we want to breathe deeply into our stomach, hold it, and then move. So if we decide to start holding our breath as we're already moving, this won't do as much to protect your core and your spine. So make sure we hold it and then move. So deep breath in, then move, and then you can release it at the top. The second movement will be our max reps for our barbell chest press for 45 seconds, or a 5 rep max. Again, if you're new or if you've not been coming much or you haven't done that movement as much recently, then we can obviously go to the 45 seconds so that the load is a little bit less intense. If you have been doing it and you want a good push, then we can go for our 5 rep max. After that, we've got our max dumbbell over bench rows, or again, 5 rep max, so we can build to a heavy 5, or we can go for that 45 seconds. And even though we are with our dumbbells, ways that we can think about safety is getting a spotter if we think that we need one. And again, you can brace while you're doing these over bench rows. So yeah, that'll be the one after that. So our over bench row, so leaning forward, and then that elbow is going to come forward into the body. Obviously, I'd be on a bench. And then after that, we've got a max wall sit. To make this a little bit harder in classes, sometimes some of you guys go with a plate. Don't have to do that, but yeah, we're going to go for a max time. And then also max plank hold. So yeah, we can have a little competition with that. I think last time a few people were keeping track of each other, which was quite nice to see. So we'll do that again. And then the day after would be our max cage deadlifts for 45 seconds, or a 5 rep max. Same thing as your squats. I still want to say that bracing technique when we're at the bottom, and then obviously the coach will be watching to make sure that your technique is good. We don't want to see any rounding of that back and pulling there. We want to keep those shoulder blades pinned and then drive through your heels so that you can stay nice and upright, and that chest coming up at the same time as your bum, rather than leading with the bum and then getting this horrible arch in our back. After that will be your max military press for 45 seconds, or again 5 rep max. So from here straight overhead, keeping those arms and legs nice and locked out once we're in that top position. So sometimes people do that thing where it's getting a little bit tougher, so we bend the knees, but we want to keep that locked out. Take a deep breath, and then each time you can release it at the top, rehold, and then come back down, touch your shoulders for that 5 rep max, or whether it is the military press max out as well for 45 seconds. The last one will be our max banded pull downs. So we'll attach a band to the rig, and you can sit down, and then we'll be doing as tough a band as we can for 45 seconds. Or if you know that you've been working on those eccentric chins, so jump and go down slowly, then we can go for a chin up for the first time. If you know that you can already do a strict chin up, then we can try and test this for 5. You can add bands, if not for the banded pull down, so that's fine. And then lastly, max kettlebell hold for time. So similar to the wall sit and the plank, we're just going to hold it for time. And then max sit up, so you're just going to keep going until you can't do any more reps. And then lastly, we've got our max dumbbell ground to overhead. We've been building this up for the last couple of weeks for those of you that have done that session. And then we've got a max high jump that we'll go into the wall for, and then max broad jump. So we'll set a line, and then we'll see how far you can go, and we'll measure that. Lastly, our conditioning piece is our HEX workout. So it'll be a 3-minute AMRAP. So you'll do 5 wall balls, 10 alternating renegade rows. That can be kneeling if we do need to, team, so that will be with your dumbbells. 15 push-ups. Again, with this, if you can do a full push-up, great, we'll go for that option. If you can't, then we can go to a box, or we can go to our knees again, just to make that a little bit more doable and achievable. And then lastly, it will be max C2 cows. So say if you finish those push-ups and you've got a minute and a half left, then you'll have a minute and a half on the bike. Whether that's 20 seconds left, then 20 seconds on the bike, and we'll go for max calories on that. But as always, team, we want to test so that we can see how far we've progressed. Also, to help set new goals can be really useful. You might look at something and go, oh, like that's improved. I'm glad that I've worked on that. However, this is lacking a little bit and I'd like to improve it on the next bit. And you can make sure to concentrate on that and have a baseline to go from. But as always, keeping safe. The coaches will be watching your form as always, but also really concentrate on that bracing and obviously being sensible. If you know that you've had an injury or you haven't done something in a while, then pick the option that's feasible for you. All right, can't wait for next week.